Hi everyone, welcome back again to my YouTube channel, Natural Living by Enovi, where I show you how easy it is to prepare your favorite meals with healthy options, driving directions around Jamaica, self-care, home care, and so much more. My focus is always on a healthy lifestyle and discussions on how to maintain a positive mindset. Remember to like, subscribe, share, and comment. Subscription is free, so all you need to do is press that red arrow at the bottom of the video. Hi everyone, welcome back again to part 2 of what makes a Jamaican food so special that it is number 1 in the world. And we're gonna continue, but I will go back to a little bit on what we had discussed in the previous video. So remember to go back and watch that video. We all know that the flavor of the Jamaican food is so special. The meat is seasoned to the bone. Everything is just a whole combination of flavors based on our history and how different cultures have all been infused into one special melting pot of flavors that you will not find anywhere else in the world. So go back to video number 1 where I go through all that in detail, and continue to watch this video, or you watch this video first then go back to number 1. Thanks again for watching, guys. But just to remind you, Jamaica has gained worldwide recognition as the best food you can find. If you find people on YouTube or anywhere else talking about the best, just the social media in general, what is the best food they've ever had, the travel YouTubers, more than likely Jamaica will be in the top 3, and most times Jamaica is number 1. So we started off talking about like jerk chicken, and we have other jerk dishes too, and we spoke about how that started off with the Tainos, and then we had other influences now from the Europeans, and then you had the Africans, and then you had the East Indians that came in, the Chinese, and people from India, the Indians, and all of that has made Jamaican food so special. So we're going to continue now with the remainder of the dishes, but I will just back up a little and remind you of what we had discussed in the previous video, but I won't go through in detail, but just to remind you. So this is video 110.2. The previous video 110.1, we spoke about the ackee and saltfish, the rice and peas, the jerk chicken, the many different chicken dishes we have, including curry chicken, roast chicken, fried chicken, fricassee chicken, barbecue chicken. And we spoke about oxtail and beans and other beef dishes. We spoke about the curry goat, the stew peas, the starchy foods like the rice and the dumplings and the ground provisions. We spoke about saltfish. We spoke about the other preserved fish like salt mackerel and sardine and tin mackerel. And we spoke about our different types of soup, especially what we cook on Saturdays or sometimes for lunch, as our regular soup, chicken soup, beef soup, pepper pot, and all of that. We spoke about our different types of different ways of cooking fish, including fried fish, escovitch fish, and where those influences came from: the steamed fish, the brown stew fish, the fish in coconut sauce, the roast fish. Yes, so we stopped off at the fish dishes. So we're gonna continue now with the remainder of the dishes, starting with saltfish fritters. So we spoke to also of the different types of seasonings we use in our dishes, including our dried seasonings and our green seasonings, which we combine. That was in video number 1. So today now we're gonna talk about the remainder of the other dishes. Some of them not spoken about as much, but that's why I did 2 videos, so you can be exposed to all the different types of dishes. And we still have not discussed all of them, but we would have covered the majority of them in these 2 videos. So we're starting off today with the saltfish fritters, which we eat mainly for breakfast, but we also call them stamp and go. And if you have any little cocktail parties or anything, we have that as a little finger food too. And it's made with flour, saltfish, or regular seasonings. Like you can decide if you want to put everything or not everything, but we definitely put a little black pepper in there, and our salted fish, and our onions and scallions, maybe a little sweet pepper, and definitely a touch of our Scotch bonnet pepper, because our Scotch bonnet pepper is not only hot, but it has a flavor almost like a fruity flavor, but it is unique. You have to have it, and it's called Scotch bonnet because it is shaped like the hat of a Scotsman, so of a Scottish man. So as you will see, we fry them, and then we also have the banana fritters, which is one of my favorite things to snack on, but we also have them as breakfast, and the saltfish fritters is usually for breakfast too. And with those basic combinations, we have many other types of fritters that you can just use these basic recipes, and I have further on my videos. If you go into my videos and search, and I will tag my the videos at the end of this, so you can go and search for all my cooking videos, and you will see the saltfish fritters and the banana fritters. The next thing is our patty, and I also have a video on the Jamaican patty in detail, which is like you have a pastry, a flaky pastry, and it started off with beef, like minced beef, and we put all the seasonings in it, cook it, and then we put it into the pastry and bake it, and it is so flavorful and delicious. Now we have gone into chicken patties, callaloo patties, veggie patties, lobster patties, curry goat patties. You can get curry goat patties at Devon House. The different patty places like Tasty, and you have Juicy patties and Mother's patties. So they have, each of them have their different, some of them even have like a tofu patty, and they call them yati. I'm coming from like the Rasta talking. So because Rasta is about Ital, we'll talk about Ital later down in the video. And we also have different sides, which it's generally the same as you would have around the world, but we also have our Jamaican flavor, special Jamaican flavor. For example, our macaroni and cheese, we would use our special tasty cheese, which is only made in Jamaica, but is available around the world, especially in West Indian stores. So we would add that to our mac and cheese, which gives it a special flavor. And we also have a way too where we can make a vegan mac and cheese using coconut cream. So and we don't use cheese, we use like a pumpkin. So and it comes out looking like mac and cheese, but it's not really mac and cheese, but very delicious. So with the sides, we have also potato salad, and I have a recipe for that too. We have our candied sweet potatoes, especially at Christmas, and we also like to have our veggie dish on the side, whether we cut them up, have them in a tossed salad form, or we just cut up some slices of tomatoes and cucumbers, or if we shred the cabbage and the carrots, and we might make a little dressing to go with that, and our lettuce. And so if you go out for lunch in Jamaica, many times you would get like shredded cabbage and carrot, like a box lunch. We call them box lunch, an affordable lunch. You will get that. If you go somewhere for dinner, you might get slices of cucumbers and tomatoes. When we cook at home on Sundays, we will have slices of cucumber and tomatoes and our tossed salad and all of that. Some people make a coleslaw too. So that is another one of our side dishes. I have put the fruits and juices in a category together because, of course, a lot of our juices are from fruits. Some of them, we have vegetables too. So I start off with our carrot juice, which is just made from squeezing the carrot. I have a video on that, and we have two ways of making it. One is milk based, one is sugar based, no milk, and with that we add our lime, and sometimes we add ginger. As you know, the Jamaican ginger is unique around the world with its special flavors. We also have the soursop juice, as you would know the soursop. So that is made the same way how we make the carrot juice. But with the soursop, it has some little seeds in it, so we have to take those out. And some people might blend, like I love to blend up the pulp too and make a thicker juice. Some people will just strain off the pulp. And we have our sorrel, which is so special because every Christmas we always have to have sorrel at our dinner table, and that is made by infusing the sorrel is from the hibiscus family. So we would take off the little red petals, wash them, and we would get the water to boiling on the stove, and we put the sorrel in. I have a video for that, and then we add all our special spices to it, like cinnamon. People have their own special things that they like to add, the pimentos, and then we add our special Jamaican rums, like our white rum, Jerry and Never rum, and our red label wine. Or now you have some other companies who are making wines too. We also have our June plum, which we use to make June plum juice. Basically the same way that we would make with the soursop, with just the lime and sugar and our ginger. I love mine with ginger. I can add a little lime juice sometimes too. And here I show you, we can also stew that down in some sugar like a preserve. And we have our special oranges. We have regular oranges in Jamaica, but we have this unique orange, which is a cross between orange and tangerine, which we call Artenique. It is so juicy and flavorful and always so sweet. So you get them at special times of the year in Jamaica, and that is obvious. So most people will maybe just eat these straight and not make juice with them. But if you want to make orange juice, you can use these for the regular oranges. And we have our pineapples too, which we use to make a nice pineapple juice. And we don't waste the skin. We use the skin and infuse it just like the sorrel with ginger and cloves and all those nice spices, and sweeten it with sugar. And we also have our other fruits like mangoes. These here I'm showing you our special East Indian mangoes, and people love the Julie mangoes too. We have a wide variety of mangoes in Jamaica, and we also cook them green. But I will speak more about that in the Indian, where I focus on our Indian cuisine, our influence in our foods from the our ancestors from India. And we have our papaya, our sweet sop, which is not really made into a juice. We usually just eat that, and we like to make fruit plates with all of our fruits, or we just eat it straight. We have a way we will just sit in our backyard and eat our fruits. On a hot summer day, we just cut up a melon and everybody sit around the backyard and eat their melon. We have our special Otaheite apples, which originated from Tahiti, but Jamaicans somehow we ended up calling it Otaheite. So if you listen to it properly, you will see the Tahiti comes into that name. And those are red and very delicate, easily bruised, so they don't stay too long. So once they're ripe, you have to eat them. And we make also a lovely juice with that too. It has beautiful pinkish color, and we also sweeten that with maybe a little sugar and some lime juice. You can put ginger in it too. We also love to make a nice ginger beer It's growing up, they used to put it in the sun with the water, the ginger, and let it infuse using just sun. But now we just heat the water and make the ginger beer. Some people don't even heat the water. You can also make it with like cold water, like water from the tap. And we also have our just our food plates. We love to bring our foods for lunch in Jamaica and have fruits even in the morning or mid-morning as a snack, or we might freeze them and make our really great tropical fruit punch, which is like a blended thick smoothie with the pineapples, the bananas, the melon, and with our papaya, and any fruit you can add to. You can even add non-tropical fruits to it too. So the thing that is so special about the Jamaican fruits is that they're mainly organic, because we have so many fruit trees around. Everywhere you look, you see fruit trees growing, so no one goes and fertilize them. I don't know if people with the actual like a mango farm or so does that sort of thing, but I definitely know that generally the trees are just growing all over the country. So everybody says that even our mangoes are so sweet and delicious and juicy. So that is what makes our Jamaican fruits so special, and we will incorporate them in our dishes. We also have our ripe bananas. We have a special place that grows bananas, and those two we use them to make our banana fritters. And we also eat our green bananas by either frying them or boiling them, using it to make porridge. And with that said, we will move on from the fruits now. So we go straight into our breakfast. So we spoke about we like to have fruits also as with breakfast. We would eat the regular egg and toast and so, but Jamaicans love to have a hearty and filling breakfast, and we call like bananas and yams, and so we call it hard food or ground provisions or provisions. And you find, especially on the weekends, we love to make a nice big breakfast, and we use this is when now we start to use our preserved fish, like our saltfish and which I spoke about in video number 1, and our salt mackerel. We have various ways of cooking them, and we would add our callaloo, which is our really delicious green leafy vegetable, and it's very nutritious too. And we cook it sometimes with the saltfish or just have it on the side. We also love cabbage, and we love our fried dumplings or boiled dumplings. We will also eat our baked beans and sausages, but Jamaicans have to be extra, so we will have our jerk sausages or our smoked sausages or smoked frankfurters, which makes it extra flavorful for our breakfast. So we use these same things too, and we have like our lunch meat. We have jerk chicken lunch meat too, which we usually use to make our sandwiches. So we would also make our omelets out of these same sausages and our seasonings and our sweet peppers and all of that. And we also love sardines and tuna. And one thing we love in Jamaica is, as I said, we love a big breakfast. So we would also have leftovers for breakfast. We love our stew peas and our rice and peas and chicken. Sometimes we do that for breakfast, or we would also take it for lunch the following day to work, leftovers for lunch. And a big part of the Jamaican breakfast is porridge, and we like our different types of porridge. Here I will show you our cornmeal porridge and our oats porridge, but we also use the green bananas and the green plantains, and other cereal, even rice we use to make porridge. And we sweeten it with milk or coconut milk or regular condensed milk. We add to it sometimes, which is what we grew up doing. Growing up, we used the condensed milk or the straight coconut milk from freshly grated coconuts. But now we would use the coconut cream too. and we use our cinnamon, nutmeg, vanilla, and it is with, as one YouTuber from abroad came here and said our plantain porridge tastes like a custard. It is unique because even our oats porridge, we don't make it like the oatmeal people make abroad, that thick gooey thing. We make it a little lighter, so it's a little watery but still thick, and it's so delicious, and we eat it with a spoon, and very, very delicious. So I have these recipes for our porridges on this channel also, and the fried dumplings recipes are coming up soon, so just subscribe to the channel and you will get all those recipes very soon. So we're going to talk now about our Indian influence now in our Indian dishes that we make in Jamaica. I don't know all of them, but I will speak about the ones I'm accustomed to. For example, we do eggplant and we cook it down. Sometimes we cook it in saltfish, but we would I have a recipe with that too on the channel, on my channel, and we would cook it sometimes with salted fish or with my curry. And we also have dal. We use split peas mainly. That's the yellow split peas or the green one, but we also use pigeon peas, which we call gungo peas, or we use the same red kidney beans, which we call red peas, or any other peas can be used, but it's more popular with using the yellow split peas, and we have that a lot with any other curry dishes with rice, but we like to have the saltfish, which is roasted, and we wash out some of the salt and add our seasonings to that. And I have on the dal video I have how we make our saltfish choker, so you can look for that. And we also have, so you can even look for these are the thumbnails I add on the channel, so you can look at the thumbnails if you don't want to be reading. So, or you can just put in and search for the recipe within my channel, and I show you. The special thing about our dal, we have this thing that we fry up some garlic at the end and add it to the dal, which makes it very flavorful, and we love to serve it with the regular white rice or roti. Here I show you how I make my rotis. You can also make them with the filling, but I do that every now and then, but it's just easier for me to just make them plain and bake them with the oil and a little butter. And we also have our Indian influence in our curries, as I mentioned too in the first video introduction. But in part 2 now, I'm telling you how we use our curry and we use our masala. Some of us, like me, I make my masala from scratch using coriander seeds and any sort of other spices I want to add to it, like cloves or anything else. And we can mix that with the turmeric, and that's how we get the Indian curry. Or we just use it. But we also, when I use the curry powder, I also add turmeric. So a little turmeric, but not too much, into my curries. And we do curried mangoes too, and we also do mango chutney. And we do our rotis, I spoke about that already. And we do curry chickpeas, they call it chana. And we also do curried fish, and they have many other Indian dishes that they make here in Jamaica. That is me doing my little Indian thing. When I was learning to do Indian dance at one point, I just wanted to show you that I have a little Indian influence in my ancestry. So the next thing is now the Chinese influence. As you know, Chinese, we have a significant number of Chinese in Jamaica, coming from the days of the indentured servants, and now you have some more Chinese coming over now to Jamaica to open like wholesales and supermarkets. So they came with their influence, and we have stir fries are very popular. We call it chop suey. We have the suey mein and the chow mein and the sweet and sour chicken and all the other Chinese dishes. And our Chinese food is said to be very good based on the opinion of visitors and Jamaicans alike. It's a significant part of our diet. We eat a lot of Chinese for lunch, Chinese meals for lunch, and also if you're going out in the evenings, a lot of people go to a Chinese restaurant. So that's it has played a significant role, because you also had the indentured laborers coming in. So those two have played a very significant role in Jamaica. So even when we're not cooking Chinese, we still use like our soy sauce or oyster sauce in other dishes too. So they have left their mark on us here in Jamaica. And even with that, the patties were developed by Chinese bakeries, and also a lot of Chinese own the bakeries in Jamaica. Even the major bakeries like National Bakery, that's owned by Chinese. So supermarkets and bakeries have been mainly run by Chinese in Jamaica. And only now in recent years you find other people are now opening bakeries and supermarkets. So that's another significant influence on our Jamaican cuisine. And anyone that comes to Jamaica know that if you come to Jamaica, you have to have some coconut water straight from the jelly coconut, we call it, the one that you drink straight. It's really the younger coconut, which is you drink it, and then that will mature to give you the actual coconut, which we grate and get the coconut milk from to make our other dishes. So this takes us now to our coconut desserts, which our desserts generally, but I'm gonna speak about some of our coconut desserts. We have like grater cake, which is just coconut and sugar. We have here, I show you the one that's made with granulated sugar. We usually do some coloring. So we take out some, add the coloring, and we combine it. And we have what we call gizadas, which is like a Jamaican coconut tart. So you have the pastry shell, and you just add the coconut with the sugar and other spices and bake it, and that's very delicious. And we have the things like we call Bustamante sweeties. Well, that's not the name, it's Bustamante backbone, named after one of our previous prime ministers in Jamaica, which means it is very strong. Now they're not making them as hard, but it's like a coconut and sugar boiled down to a very dark color. They add molasses to it, and it has a very chewy texture, almost like toffee, and that's very delicious. It's a sweet that we have here in Jamaica. We also use coconut there's like a coconut regular cake that we make with coconut, but we call it toto, and many other desserts like our puddings, which are made from coconut cream, like our cornmeal pudding and our sweet potato pudding. The cornmeal pudding is like, we love to have that. Well, growing up, our parents used to love to have that with a cup of tea for like breakfast, or just like as a dessert. Or I will take it if I make it, I will take it to work for like my snack or so. And but we also do other types of puddings too, like bread pudding, which is not only Jamaica that's done in. And so I usually make my bread pudding at Christmas time, but that's not made with coconut cream. That's just made with regular milk and egg and all those ingredients. And we use hard bread as the base for that and that's another one of our desserts. I should have also mentioned too that coming from our Indian influence, we make some of the Indian sweets like kurma, which is like a little flour dumpling coated with sugar, and sometimes we also do our nuts coated with sugar, and or we make what you call like a peanut, we call it peanut cake, but it's really toasted peanuts cooked down in sugar, and when the sugar gets to the point where it will harden, you make it in little drops. You drop it on an oiled surface, or in the olden days I used to use a banana leaf, which is sort of seared over the heat, and it doesn't stick to that, and you would make those desserts and drop them, and when they're cool it's like a hard candy. So we also do that with the coconut too. You cut up the actual hard coconut into, we call it, you dice it up into little tiny squares, and then you cook it down just like the peanuts in the same sugar, and you drop them into little we call them like some little candy cakes, and you just have them, or you can even buy them now in the supermarkets, or you have people on the road which sells them too. So that's another one of our desserts or sweet snacks or anything like that. So this is what everyone is crazy about, the thing on the top, and we put that is from adding the coconut cream on top. And then the edges, it's hardly ever easy to get this in a regular oven, but I use a smaller oven, so, and use the Dutch pot, which somehow gives it this nice crust. We call it the bun on the edge. It is so yummy. This is my favorite dessert. Look at that. Just look at that. That is just, so we call it hella top, hella bottom, and hallelujah in the middle, because in the olden days they used to use the coals on top over a piece of metal, and the pot is in the middle with the pudding, and then they have coal at the bottom. So the pudding is what we call the hallelujah, and hallelujah, it is so yummy. So good. And now we reach one of our big major thing. It's our Christmas cake. We call it our Jamaican, some people call it Jamaican fruit cake, some call it rum cake, some will call it a black cake, some call it a rum Christmas fruit cake or black cake. And this is made very special because like a couple months before Christmas, sometimes even a year before or more, we start to soak the dried fruits like currants, raisins, cherries, prunes. We soak them in the rum, usually red label wine, and the rum, which is Jerry and Neville, or any other rum or wine you have, but to get a special flavor, these are what you use. Or you have some also newer brands now of the red wine, and that's soaked, and we use it to make this lovely fruit cake. And then we add some more of the rum and the wine to the cake after it's baked to keep it nice and moist. So at Christmas time you have to have this as a dessert on Christmas Day at your Christmas dinner, and we usually give them out as gifts too. So it's a really big business in Jamaica. We send them abroad to our relatives and friends during Christmas time. And there's a recipe for this too on my channel, one of my earlier recipes. I think this is my best recipe so far in terms of popularity. And the next thing is our spice bun. I also have this recipe on the channel. It is very popular. It's at Easter. This came down through the English. They had, but not this exact thing, but it was influenced by the English, who had their hot cross buns and all of that. So over the years now, this was developed using raisins too, and we usually put the cherries on top, but it's like a stout bun, so you can use Guinness, or you can use our We have our own what we call dragon stout, the dark stouts, and we use it to make this wonderful, delicious Easter bun, we call it, or Jamaican spice bun. And we also have some little round ones made basically from the same type of recipe which we would eat throughout the year, and we like to eat it with our special tasty cheese, which I mentioned in the previous video too, which is unique to Jamaica, but that cheese is also available in stores like the West Indian stores abroad, or even generally I've seen them in just some general stores and general supermarkets too abroad. So that's called pasty cheese. It comes in a tin, and you have to understand how to cut that cheese out of the tin if you're buying the large one, but it's in different sizes, and it's really a big part of our Jamaican diet. So at Easter time, you go into the supermarket and you will see rows and rows of different brands of these delicious spice bun. And now, of course, you know, our Rastafarian people in Jamaica, they develop their own special meals which they call Ital, because they never really made it with any salt, and it was cooked down in coconut cream, but it has really been ingrained in our cuisine now and in our homes, where we make a lot of stews from peas and beans and okras, and we put a little Scotch bonnet pepper in there, so it's straight vegan. But we, of course, we would put salt in ours, and so we combine it with even carrots and any sort of vegetables. And I have a couple of these on the channel also, and we also cook down like even the chickpeas in the curry with the coconut cream too. So these are the influence from, and they also eat a lot of callaloo. So even they would make the pepper pot soup, but they wouldn't put any meat in there. And I also do my red beans in coconut cream. I'm not sure this is very popular in Jamaica, but I just do that because I've traveled to countries like Panama and I've seen that. But you know, everything is on the internet now, so everybody's changing up the traditional recipes and making it their own, you know, adding different things, different flavors to it and all of that, no? And so other meats that we have in Jamaica now are like, we make cow skin. We like here I did a curried cow skin with roti, and the other one is curried cow, it's brown stew cow skin with fried dumplings. And you know, cow skin is very good for you because of the collagen. And we also do things like chicken foot. We don't say chicken feet, we say chicken foot, whether it's one or more, and we might curry that or brown stew it. Brown stew is just really browning the meat in a little oil, and then you add a little water to cook it down, and you add the seasonings, and then you cook it down further, or add back some water to make some gravy, and you simmer that down. And we also cook the tripe from goat, and both goat and cow, either curried, or for goat we put it in, I make a soup we call managed water, which we combine with the head. And we also cook cow foot, and we don't say cow's feet, we say cow foot, and we cook even the cow head and all those things. So the Jamaican cuisine is so wide and varied. So I hope these two videos give you guys a good appreciation of what Jamaican food is all about. I also I had not mentioned about our pumpkin rice. We would combine rice with other things like callaloo or pumpkin and cook it down with coconut coconut cream. We love to cook down anything we combine our rice with coconut cream. And if we're not cooking plain white rice. And that, guys, is where our video ends today. I just want to thank you again for watching. Let me know what you think about. Do you agree that Jamaican cuisine is #1 in the world? Have you ever eaten a Jamaican meal? Have you ever visited Jamaica and eaten a Jamaican meal? If you're Jamaican, what is your favorite Jamaican meal? Let me know. Check out my videos if you want to learn to cook Jamaican. I have a lot of these items on my channel, and I will continue to add more of them on the channel. So thank you again for watching. I don't take it for granted because I know you have many options. So remember, press that little red arrow on the bottom right hand of the screen, and to subscribe to the channel. Subscription is free. Remember to comment, share it on your Facebook with your friends, share it in your WhatsApp with your friends. I will link part 1 of this video of this series, what makes Jamaican food #1 in the world. I will link it at the end of this video, so you don't have to go searching for it. I will also link all my other cooking videos. So remember to check out my cooking videos, check out my travel videos like Jamaican driving directions, and of course I will do others as I start the traveling part of this channel. And I will also have just other things I speak about, just to be a positive minded person. And I even did a video on budgeting. So just check out the channel and stay with me, guys. Remember to subscribe and to comment, leave a comment below. And thanks again for watching, and have a great day. Bye. Leave a nice little comment like good video, or if you want anything else to be shown, or you want to add any information in the comment section, please feel free to do so. So I really appreciate you for watching my channel. From the earliest as the Tainos, who are the original people living in Jamaica who introduced jerk, right up to you had the Europeans coming in, you had between the Spanish, Portuguese, the British, and then you also had the Africans came over as slaves, and then you had the East Indians and the Chinese and many other influences later down, like the Jews and many other influences that it's not normally talked about as much.